Shari, what are some strategies to manage stress?
There's a whole range of different strategies, ranging from cognitive strategies to behavioural strategies that we can use. But the most important strategy is to be aware of how you normally function and when you may be feeling stressed, and to be monitoring that. So that's a very simple technique in which you take a deep breath and you simply do a body scan and notice how you are feeling at that moment. Notice whether or not you're feeling agitated. Notice whether or not your thoughts are clear or whether they're feeling cluttered. And once you've got that awareness there, then you can start to take and remedial action fairly quickly rather than letting stress spiral out of control.
And what can a person do to identify the sorts of situations that might encourage or trigger sort of a stress response?
Because stress can come from a whole range of different reasons, it's important to understand what are those things that trigger us ourselves. So sometimes we can notice that in our work environment there might be particular things that are causing us stress. So for instance, billing pressure.
Yeah.
Now we might not be able to actually change that, but what we can do is then learn strategies to manage our response to that more effectively. A different scenario would be if part of our stress is caused by our lack of confidence in our ability to complete some tasks. So if we're perceiving that we don't have the skills in order to meet a certain goal or to get a task done. So if you were asked to write a highly complex decision that you'd never written before, or a brief for someone, and then you'll go and notice that the thoughts are self-defeating. So that's an internal process. So then it's learning that we can actually change the way that we think and to develop some perspective taking or some reality checking activities along the way.
And someone once told me that just remember to breathe.
Absolutely.
And is that true? Is that an important part of managing stress?
Breathing is the most crucial part of stress management, and it's actually most important to remember to breathe when you're not overtly feeling stressed. Because our mind learns from experience, if we only do slow, gentle breathing when we're feeling stressed, it might start to recognise that as part of the stress response.
Right.
So it's actually very important to learn to do some slow breaths at regular times throughout the day, irrespective of whether you're under pressure or not. When we breathe, we actually send a message to the brain that we're managing okay. When we're feeling stressed, our breathing actually shortens. So when we can actually take a long, gentle breath or two, the message to the brain is that there is no threat at the moment and we're managing fine. So it's taking opportunities in the day to breathe as much as you can. So that might be if you're waiting for the lift to go up to your floor, while you're standing there waiting, to just take the opportunity to slow your breathing down. If you're waiting on the phone, then taking a few deep breaths at that time frequently is much more important than waiting until you're feeling incredibly stressed and then trying to go into that, because it's very, very difficult to do at that point.